Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Like I said, I do have some accident survivors here in the studio with me. They're not survivors from this recent accident because, of course, they're still recuperating, and we certainly brought you one of them at least. But today we're asking this big question: why do we almost always forget as a country to adequately cater for persons who've suffered accident? In the studio with us, three people. One of them is Mary Mensah. Mary Mensah is an accident survivor. Hello, Mary, you're welcome. I also, if you could speak up for me, Mary, I'll appreciate it. I also have here in the studio Comfort Boateng, who's also an accident survivor. Ms. Comfort Boateng, you're welcome. Okay, if you would just speak up for me a little bit, that would really help our audience and our viewers to hear you. I also have Reverend Cyril Benedict Crab. He's a founder and president of Accident Victim Support. He's one of the people who come together, put people together to support persons who suffer from accident. You're welcome as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, so before I go on to talk to them and ask about what their stories, specific stories are, I've been asking you to share with me your thoughts, your own experiences. I mean, being in an accident and surviving is a near-death experience. I just want to find out from you what yours are. I have some messages here. Let me quickly read it, and then I will hear their stories. This one says, your Central Regional Correspondent reported. Do not call the line, please. It says, your Central Regional Correspondent reported 6 different accidents at the same spot. Nothing was done. The accident was caused by a broken down vehicle which should have been towed off the road according to the regulations. He goes on to say that witnesses said the traffic lights were not working, which could be a contributing factor. Nothing was done. He says nothing was done. But when accident happens, we have government officials giving usual messages of condolence in ugly sunglasses and affected English. I think they enjoy doing that. From Koshi Badahu Ayivo in Denu or at Denu Junction. Thank you for sending in your message, Koshi. Please stop calling the line. It is only for WhatsApp messages. Drop us a WhatsApp message. You don't need to call, because when you call, it distracts the flow of my reading of the messages. This message says, if my memory serves me right, during ex-President Rawlings's time, there was a law that barred the tankers and trailers to be on the road after 6 p.m. So I guess we should go back on that road, to bar tanker or long trailers from using the road after 6 p.m. It's coming from Fifi in Ashoman Estate. Fifi, thank you for bringing in your message. This one also said, to the best of my knowledge, government must set up dual roads so as to curb accident. From Victor Nyame. All right, this will be my final message, and then we'll go on with the discussion. Babamu from Tamale says, indeed, it saddens my heart anytime I hear accidents like these in the country. However, my condolences to the families of the people who lost their lives. But I think Road Safety Management Authority and MTTU must put in mechanisms to reduce these accidents. So these are some of your messages. Keep them coming. If you have any near-death experience, do share that with us. And let me start talking to our survivors here in the studio. Maybe I should start with you, Auntie Comfort. Do tell us, what is your story? What happened? Okay, speak up a bit for me, and we'll see if I'll be able to do a translation. Pacho, go on.
26 July 1918. Na me firifie na me store no so committee 9 na che se me ko nti me se me to ade wa ahyiama enti mato ade koro no awie enti manhu ye nam kwan ho traffic light no ye nam kwan ho aye ba ne ye ti ye ni se car no afa block nti ba na ati free fiti esoro na eba nti eba saa no a edu baby ati free no so emutwe wanya baby engina nti nipa na nam nchen no nti ne ye ti ya ni se montwe mo ho ne mi hu ya ni se car no me nan akɔhye car na se nti me nan kɔhye car na se no na kyerɛ sɛ eyi me tena fam nti me tena fam ne mi hu ya ne sɛ me nan no aworo nam no nyinaa ayi ama me eyi me nan no ebi da fam na ebi so ɛwɔ me dan no ho nti nia me hu ni sɛ nipa na moja nti wona ne de manhunu bibia sɛ ɛyɛ me ya nti hono no mo pɛ car and wo de me call General Hospital.
Okay, so I'll let her continue the story, but essentially she says that she recounts her story back many years ago when she was on her way to assignment from Tema, and then she said that she had a vehicle, all she had was a vehicle coming through, and the vehicle seems to have lost the grip on its brakes. She says the vehicle was just coming at top speed. She ended up with her feet under the vehicle, and then that was when I stopped her. She says all she saw was blood. She couldn't even feel her feet, and then she was taken to the Tema General Hospital. So, Auntie, what happened when you went to the Tema General Hospital? What happened to your leg?
Me di General Hospital 5 days. Until 5 days, you know, and now one the oxygen I feel me call off. Until I'm say 2 days, you know, me call off, and one more the oxygen it see me so. Until me the man who no she be until near me who ya say yes see and famine call Qualibu. Until 5 days, you know, and one more they me call Qualibu.
I see. So she says she went into coma for about 3 days. Afterwards, she was referred to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Let me come to Mary. Mary, what is your story?
My story is 22nd March. Na me call Boase. To me call no Boase bus na your man am far do power. Just so bus. You drew a confi honomono. Si baby one is a car be overtaking in Tombas Navy or the best she or the bed crashing any deal. Timinano Koshi seat nothing. I'm at that didn't be around me nine more.
Yes, go on.
You're on our ambulance by now, Bessisa. Be more going to me, General Moja to me. Before soon I'm peer free bus. Na me bar outside. Na me tie mu say tim ye de am ye nka ho bia na mu fie moja tu a na etu me tim ja no bi ba no be fa me si ka ni from there call Mankasim Roma Hospital.
Okay, so Mary is also an accident victim. Mary talks about how she was on her way to Boase through Drasso, and then on their way a U-turn vehicle which was attempting to overtake another vehicle ran into their bus. There was a crash. She found herself with her feet locked up under the seat of the bus. One of the seats of the bus and part of the metals under the seat went straight into her legs. Auntie, what happened to your feet after that?
Because me free hospital or bathroom. Obia frame me, or move me from almost oh, you be frail. Metro bus for no.
Tell us what exactly was wrong with your legs. What happened to it?
Because a accident na say me na ko hihye seat na se ti amadade no ra me nan ni mu ti omo pempamo e
okay
ti me ba fie no store e konso store mu ye me ya pa.
I see. So she says, so she's spent some time in the hospital. She's back. She's, her feet have had to be stitched, etc. But she says that's it. She never heard anything. Did you hear from the police? Did you hear from the police, the driver? Nothing. The driver died.
Yes.
So she says the driver died in that particular accident. How many people died in that bus?
At once on any probably 20 we nam omo makane de minim.
What happened to them?
Because Mankasim Roma Hospital, never so apam. They be apam.
So Mary was in a bus that was heading to Drasso, you know, she was actually trying to go to Obuasi, and along the way, a U-turn vehicle rammed into the vehicle. She was traveling in that vehicle, so there was a crash. The driver died along with about 20 persons. She is one of the lucky ones to have survived that particular accident. She had her feet under the seat with the metals under the seat piercing through her feet. She went to the hospital. She's had nothing. Let me bring you in, Reverend Cyril, into this discussion. I don't know what motivates you to bring together these accident victims, but what sort of support does your organization provide to these victims?
Okay, thank you very much, and let me first and foremost express my deepest condolences to the families that have lost their dear ones, and also express my well-wishing sentiment to those who are currently receiving treatment at the Cape Coast and Takoradi hospital at the moment. Let me extend it to any other individual who is currently going through this same trauma that these ones recounting their stories are going through. What is there is that I personally have not come out of the shock of 2018-2019 accident. You know, Madame Comfort had her leg splitted into two. When we got to the place, we got to the hospital, she was unconscious. They rushed her to Kolibu. There was no bed. We have to come in. That's the pathetic part of it. Now, Ekumfi, the famous Ekumfi King Tampo accident, those three accidents that happened within a day that lost over 100 people. She was part. There are others who are there. Accident victim support have not come out of it. Now, what we do, personally, I as an individual, I am an advocate for National Road Safety Commission. But I set up this foundation 3 years ago to support those who survive. The focus is on the living. Those who are dead are dead. But what about those who survive? How do we keep them surviving? Because they will not feel themselves again. Trust you me, the moment you go into an accident, you are a different person. Because you were well before, now you are not. You see fractures all over. You see deformity all over. Madame Comfort seated here, if your cameras can see her leg, she will have to spend numerous months at the hospital. And now she doesn't have her normal leg again. You can understand how she will feel. In fact, the entire family was broken down. And so as Accident Victim Support Foundation, one of the major roles we play for accident victims, the survivors, is to give them counseling. I won't talk about prayer, but counseling is involving. You know, we give them prayer, we talk to them, and then we also find ways and means we can keep them to understand that their self-esteem is still there and they can still live. The best way we do this thing, first of all, to defray their cost of hospital expenses, because they never plan to go into this. It's an accident, it's an occurrence that just happened. And so we go in there, we give them the needed support. With Madame Boateng, her case, the family members, God bless the family, the husband, they were there, the immediate family were there, but even that, we supported them. The case of Our Lady and several others we have supported, we have to pay for their hospital bills. The sister here from last year has been on our roll, making sure that she always gets her medication. She go for frequent treatments anytime. That
must be one hell of a burden on you. You said that you are an advocate for the National Road Safety Authority. Yes, it's now an authority.
Yes, sorry, authority.
What plan does the Road Safety Authority itself has or shared with you concerning victims from accidents?
Well, National Road Safety Commission had not really sat on a round table with me, but they know about me. I'm part of them. And so when it happens like that, the first thing they call me, what do we have in mind, so that they can give their support. So until I tell them what they request or what we need, then they come in.
Okay.
Like I said, we have not come out of the shock of last year, which we are still planning, because there are a lot of accident victims on us. And now we have this one. So at the moment, National Road Safety is waiting for me so that I come up with a plan on how we can support these people. Even though every year they make sure that we come together to do something for accident victims through through the foundation and also their own support.
Okay, I'll ask them one question, and I'll have you answer that same question. Auntie Comfort, what do you think should happen? You have been through it. You have been through an accident, you know, you survived. What do you expect after an accident? What do you expect to happen for you? I hope you understand. Right.
So, accident ni and can then necessary or minor and also a bino a year at the ma or more, send your mocotibiana or woman.
Is that a bino? Share one obi nya accident bia esa ban no bo no ho modern na ohwe na fi say accident no winya ne saa eyisika se scan di ho a aya na ayedin nti ese aban no hwe na se obi a obenya accident na so wanwu a they say a bino a boano. Okay.
So my question to her is what she expects. She, like other people who survive from accident, expect of the government. She says that there has to be some sort of support, and in this case, she says it's all about money when you get into this accident, and if you don't die, then you have to live, on medication, and that requires a lot of money. Government should step in for people like that. Mary, what are your own thoughts about what should happen for people who survive from accidents?
We film. See also yare. And then our person will be a to say we put be away. Then our person say the baye and also person say the year the amount. And Mara who went to me and so what's not say.
Say I'm buying boa or ma or more in your fan.
And what being sir?
Say accidents no me obia amwa me me so ni bi ti besi ana e dey e modi hwe me nkakra hospital me ti si ekra me da so kire me nan no me kwabo ase no makokire na maba ya ma me time I was me ko na maba no kire. Okay. Ti no duro no so no jinisika ya man bi bet I was here dey akakoma no. Okay.
So it boils down to financial support. So when you get through an accident and you survive, what happens to you? She's also talking about financial support, that she's still treating her leg after she got involved in that accident in which 20 people died on the spot. She doesn't know what happened to the rest of the people, but it boils down to money. Reverend Cyril, I'm coming to you. You're dealing with a state organization, a state institution that now has more powers. Yes, because they kept saying that we don't have enough powers. Now it's an authority. I mean, what do you, from your perspective, what can we do? Because I'm struggling to find out in my head what we can actually do for accident victims as a country. There are certain things that we even need to do on these roads that we are not doing. We've discussed it. Where people are fatigued with the discussion. We're still talking about it. Nothing is happening. I'm struggling to find out how we can help accident victims. I mean, what sort of scheme can the Road Safety Authority, for example, establish? I mean, insurance scheme. What do you think we can do? And is it already been discussed?
I wouldn't be swift in talking on behalf of the commission, the authority, sorry. But the little I know as an advocate, I would want to say it here that we are continuing to step up, in measures to educate drivers and also to educate pedestrians as well as any other road user to be very, very careful on how they apply their roads, because when accident increases there is a cause and somebody must be the cause of the accident. And so with National Road Safety Commission, with all that is happening at the moment, communicators, both the general the director, the advocate, we are trying our best, going out there, putting out measures that look, don't overspeed, obey the speed limit. When you are driving, at least you to know that you don't have to drink and drive. Put on your seatbelt. The Okada people, put on your helmet and know where you need to cross the road, like the zebra crossing. We're trying to step up these things to educate the general public as road safety authority. As an authority at the moment, they are now putting things in place to implement the policies that they have.
Are you sharing with them any ideas of how to set up a funding scheme of sort to support
they
accident
do
victims?
I believe before they do have, but it got to a time, you know, then we were complaining, let me put it that way, that there was no funding. You understand?
No
but
funding
now,
for that
yes,
scheme.
For that scheme. But now with what I do, we are sharing on how we can take care of the victims, as well as, you know, increasing the education on the reduction of road accident as an authority. But as I said, the authority had now been given and they are putting things in place. It wouldn't just come, you know, like that. They will make sure that whilst we journey along, whatever powers that have been given to the authority would come to bear, and then whatever the authority also have to support victims. I mean, we are sharing that idea. They will definitely come to us, and then we will make sure the accident the survivors would also be seen to. But let me quickly state that there are some other people, benevolent Ghanaians, who ever since this accident keep happening, they've been calling, and I want to appreciate and also express gratitude to the Yahweh Temple of ICGC East Legon, as well as Bost Company, and then
bulk oil distribution,
and transport, and then also marketing support consult, as well as Ghana Drive, and then Metromas STC, including the authority.
If all these organizations are supporting, are they providing funding that will, like a sustainable sort of funding or investment that will help these people that you support, you know, every now and then? Is that what's happening?
Well, I devised, let me say, a fundraising, you know, event strategy, which I do every year, and that's the National All Drivers Prayer Summit. And so under that event, we raise funds. And let me also thank Deputy Regional Minister for Greater Accra, Madam Elizabeth Saki, who yesterday had a meeting with me on what shall be done or what should be done for the victims. You know, and so we are looking forward to organize that. But extensively, we are this time writing letters to them so that we can help. Indeed, they support, but I wouldn't sit here and say that it's enough. But with the little that we get, we make sure that these survivors of these road crashes would be seen to. Personally, we go to their house, myself and my team, we visit them at their house, we look at how best we can bring them back. Some people, the moment they hear the trauma, they hear the sound of a horn alone, scares them. Yes, it brings back the memory. And so we try. There are some we are still talking to. Some are saying they won't cross the road again. Some are saying they won't sit in a car again. But by and large, we need to let drivers know that they need to reduce their speed, and they need to at least make sure they have clearer vision, or they stop drink driving, and then rest when there is fatigue. And at the end of the day, we believe that these things will be reduced. Whereas we are also telling the road urban roads to make sure they fix our roads for us. Most Sister, I was reading the daily.
Okay, I need you to wrap up on that for me, if you will.
The daily says that 69% of our roads are bad, and if they are like this, then it means that we'll continue to have accidents increasing. And so
hopefully
we are saying that the government should come to the aid of accident victim support, and then any benevolent Ghanaians as well as corporate Ghana should also come to our aid. And I believe that when we walk in to go and visit, we are going there next week, we would at least be truthful to them. They should get well soon. All
right, so this one message is coming from Philip. Philip is a teacher from Dompasi where the accident happened. He says, I'm Philip from Dompasi where the accident occurred. I heard the IGP saying that within 72 hours speed ramps will be constructed here, but I will say with authority that no such thing has happened up to now. So please kindly remind the IGP for us, because the place of the accident, the place is an accident prone area. We'll be sending our correspondent. Our correspondent will be taking a look at that to find out whether what the IGP said is already happening on the road. But you say that you can say on authority that this is not happening. This one says, my name is Pastor John Kofi of Asanda in Western Region. I was a victim 9/1/2009 from Takwa Esiama. I was admitted at Eyikwe Catholic Hospital. 9 people died, including 2 drivers. Insurance companies in Ghana should be up and doing. Insurance companies in Ghana should be up and doing. That's a very interesting perspective to this. This one says the issue of accidents in our country is quite devastating. The authorities have tried to figure out the cause. The fact is, an average driver on our road doesn't entertain any fear he could go to jail. Why? Because when an accident occurs, before a DVLA and police officer write their report, something happens, you say. That is why all these accidents happen. Reverend Cyril, you seem to agree with this point that this guy makes a lot. But let's see. It says if you listen to the stories of these accident survivors, you will cry. Let's call the spade a spade. All these accidents that are occurring as a result of human error. The drivers are indeed killing innocent Ghanaians. Andrew Animal from Asankregwa sends that message. We've unfortunately run out of time, but I do have a lot of messages here. This one says the law should be enforced to punish drivers who overspeed on the road from Atumpang. You send us messages. Thank you very much for sharing your stories and for sharing your messages as well. Let me see if I can do a very quick message. Auntie Comfort, accidents here is here. How did that make you feel?
Yeah, na me pese me shana bi ye me.
Then a year.
Me hu ni amekanti. Ya na me pese me tia ana se me hwe accident no. Fi say me hwa na makai.
Okay.
Makai. Yi me de no ne to me no. Fi say me de no nipa nsia e na wuye. We could share car nasi. At once, why be so general hospital. Okay. To 6 okay.
So I'm asking Auntie Comfort, what happens to her when what did she think? What went through her mind when she saw this accident? She says she blocked herself out. She blocks it out of her mind. She doesn't want to see. She doesn't want to hear because it just brings back the memories of the accident in which she was involved. She had her feet under the car. 6 people died in that particular accident. Finally, Mary, what's our accidents where what's here, then about what dream?
We who in me kai me they see, send your way, sana, so the bus let it say cry. Let it say, sit living now, boy, easy. To me, who accident I am best a measure. If you say me share no makai and me swan.
Okay. Well, Mary says that for her, she sees or hears about new accidents. She just remembers the accident in which she was involved where 20 people died. She says she can cry her heart out when that happens. So the best thing they do is to try to block them out. But do we have any institutions that provide this sort of psychological support from the trauma that they undergo, having to hear? Because it seems that we'll continue hearing stories about accidents. Anyway, we'll call it a wrap here. I see that you wanted to say something, but if you could do that in 30 seconds, because I've really run out of time.
Yes. We also, like you said, we give psychological support for the victims and also help in burying these victims who die. This makeup artist who died recently, I was there to empathize with their family, and then also the one that Madam Comfort was in, the ladies who died, I was part of them that buried. So the accident victim support, we will need more support to do these things for Ghanaians, and then the cases will stop.
All right, Comfort Boateng joined us. She is an accident victim. In the accident that she was involved in, 6 people died. Auntie Comfort, thank you very much for coming. I also have here Mary Mensah. Mary Mensah was involved in an accident in which 20 people died. At least 20 people died. Mary, thank you very much for sharing your story. So hopefully when you've heard all of these stories, you will be more careful on the street. Reverend Cyril Benedict Crab is the founder and president of Accident Victim Support.